didn't know or might have forgotten, let me inform you or remind you that Desmond Offong, aka Desmond Dread, had one very sweet reggae album he released at the closing days of the reggae era of Nigerian music history. But don't get it twisted because reggae music is still being played in Nigeria. Orits Wiliki, Righteous Man, King Brown Man, Oge Kimono, Ben Preist, Mike Palm, Patoranking, and others are still flying the reggae flag for Nigeria. Even outside of the country, Victor Eshed of the Mandators is still holding it down, as well as Jacob. But the definitive reggae music era, which operated like a parallel regime with the pop era, came to a close at the beginning of the 1990s when its purpose of fighting oppressive regimes across Africa and fighting for the release of Nelson Mandela and the end of apartheid were achieved. In our previous video, whose links will be popping up in this video, we have taken the position that the spiritual essence of reggae music was not deep rooted in Nigeria, hence the flux and the movement we observe within the genre. You can check out the video in the link when it pops up. But getting back to Desmond Offong, Desmond came from the production stock of veteran producer Lemmy Jackson, with drum programming credits on Ejemak Ikwe's Against the Wind album. He also featured on the Mandator's 1990 Rebel album as a rhythm guitarist. In 1991, Desmond released his debut album, Dread Driver, under the Ivory Music label. Ivory Music is the Nigerian offshoot of the multinational EMI record label.
Great rider, street rider, why you believe? Great rider, street.
The album, which relied heavily on digital sequencing, had Lemmy Jackson as producer, with Desmond himself taking on the assistant production role and other technical responsibilities like drum programming, rhythm guitarist, vocal arrangement, backup arrangement, and others. You might need to know that Desmond Offong is one of Nigeria's finest male vocalists in the game.
Firing and burning like the yellow boy. When you see me watch my side, I am ready. I sing like a bee. So watch I, watch I, watch I. Oh,
Digital production had become a thing from the late 80s into the 90s and to this moment in the Nigerian music industry, as with other parts of the world, with producers and production moving more from the analog into the digital space. And Desmond Offong moved into that direction with his reggae rendition and is aptly described on the album sleeve as Digi Reggae, bringing another subgenre to the reggae game in Nigeria. The six-track album opens with Dread Driver on the A side and mellows to Watch Eye while upping the tempo with Jar Time to close the A sides. The B side opens with Fire on the Mountain, followed by Kabieye Wilo, rendered in Oron language from Akwa Ibom State, which is the native home of Desmond Offong. The song simply admonishes young men to marry their ladies and stop playing hanky-panky with people's daughters. And the album wraps up with Abina, another swine reggae song, which stops the album on the sixth track. The production support in the album included the backing vocals of the Zap Squad, including Austin O, Zubi Enebeli, Manieke, John Abide, and Patty Adams. It also had Sam Okwa on the keyboards, Charlie Charles on additional keyboards and drum programming and percussion, Jimmy Enshaw on additional keyboards, Papa Chico on percussion, and Frank Martins on lead guitar. Frank Martins is a member of the defunct El Cado band, one of the bands that made the Afrofunk era of the 70s a sweet sounding period. The Dread Driver album had a fair radio airplay and rotation across stations in Nigeria, even at the time that reggae music was losing its grips on Nigerian music listeners' consciousness. The videos of some of the songs also did well on television stations across the country. Some of the outstanding songs include Jar Time, Dread Driver, the title album, Watch Eye, and also Fire on the Mountain. Abina was also a nice, sweet reggae song that enjoyed good play on radio stations across the country.
Great time, tell you, Jaja time, great time, that we're holding on to. Still remember what Mr. Preacher used to say, that the greatest explosion you'll ever see will be when the trumpet sound.
While music lovers and Desmond's fans were waiting a follow-up album in line with the Dread Driver setup, Desmond Offong did the unthinkable. Not only did he change his musical direction, he also changed his artistic name from the Dread Driver to EkpoOtu Africa Man. Who does that, if I may ask? Changing your artistic direction and changing your stage name at the beginning of your career. Ha, this left fans bewildered and confused because it was a bit difficult for them to link the name EkpoOtu Africa Man to Desmond the Dread Driver. Not only did he change from reggae to a traditional kind of music, he also changed the language of the music from English to his native Oron language, which has a limited spread, a limited reach just within the people that speak the Oron language. Oron is a town in Nigeria, a tribe in Nigeria, in Akwa Ibom State to be specific, and it's not even a majority tribe in Akwa Ibom State. So it looked like a risk, but we don't know. Probably had his purpose and maybe has achieved his purpose by doing that. The new album titled Ukundu Oron Special contains tracks like Rekailie and Ima, all rendered in Oron language. The album is actually a beautiful album by all means, and I want to believe it has achieved its cultural purpose, its artistic purpose, and patronage of the Oron people must have given him a breath of commercial success. And you know, in music, you cannot teach the artist what to do because these things come from inspiration. A very beautiful album by all standards, and I believe, like I said before, he must have achieved his purpose for the artist. Also, Desmond proved his vocal prowess on this new album and also has maintained the footsteps or followed the footsteps of Oron greats like Mary Afuswa, Bassy Black, and of recent Mr. X2, who have also made their marks as natives of Oron that have imprinted their footsteps on the sandtime of Nigerian music history. Desmond Offong, aka the Dread Driver, aka Africa Man, is still active in the music scene, especially in the live music scene. In December 2023, he reunited with the legendary Lemmy Jackson, his producer, to perform at the Old School Night Concert in Rio, Akwa Ibom State, Nigeria.
Let's hear it from the legendary. Silent dancing.
Yeah, my duty is done for this episode. I hope you enjoyed the brief on this one of that we brought to you. If you like what we're doing, kindly subscribe to this channel if you're just watching and passing by. And we thank those that have subscribed and have supported us with their comments, with their likes, to continue doing so, and God will bless you. Thank you for joining us as we continue to unravel and bring to you Nigerian music history, the best from the history books concerning Nigerian music. Thank you and peace.